Hello there. In this edition, we are going to show you how to import existing data into iPhora Automate. Previously, we talked about using a form and a grid to create a set of documents representing garage door models. And then we used those documents to generate a selection list inside a form. In that example, we had only 5 models, so it was easy to create each document manually. But what if there were 70 models? That would take a lot of time to enter. And that is why iPhora Automate was designed to read data from Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. If you can get your data into a spreadsheet, then it can be imported into iPhora. Let's see how this works. Here we are once again in iPhora App Builder, and the Garage Door RFQ app is open and ready for editing. When you import data from Excel, that data is used to generate a set of documents based on a form. In this case, the form in question is this one, the Garage Door Models form. Let's open it and see what's in this form. As you can see, there are a set of 8 fields, and we need to write down the widget name for each field, and we get that by double-clicking on the field. And the first piece of information in the Properties panel is the widget name. In this case, it's model name, and for the model number field, it's model number. We need to do that for all 8 fields, and in addition to that, if the field happens to be a date-time field or a number field, we need to record that information as well. And as soon as you double click on the widget, it will say near the top if it's a date time field, and this one is, or if it's a number field. So once we've recorded all of that information, then we're done with the form. We'll just close it without making any changes. Now we go and open up the grid. This is the grid associated with that form. We need to add a new button, an import button. So we click on the plus icon. We'll give the button a name, import, and an icon. And all we have to do is select import as the action. And then we hit save. Now let's publish it and see if we can import. Okay, here is the Garage Door RFQ app as a regular user would see it, or in this case, someone with at least app manager rights, because those are the rights necessary in order to do the import of data. We select models, and we see that 5 models are already here. We also see that we have an import button. But before we import, we have to have data to import. That needs to be in Excel, so let's jump into Excel and take a look at that. Here we are. This is the Excel file that I created earlier today. And as you can see, the first row essentially consists of header names, one for each column. And if you look closely, you'll see that each header name matches up exactly with those field names that came from the form itself, which is why we recorded those pieces of information. So the first one is model name, then model number, smartphone, and so forth. The data below the headers, each row represents the data that will form one document. So for the model name, it's going to be basic. For the model number, 11001. And note that even though we call it model number, we treat this value as text. That is something that came from the form design itself. Smartphone, security camera, and description, this is all text data. Now over here for available date, if you recall, that is a date time widget, so this has to be date time data. Over here, maximum width, that goes into a number widget, so it has to be numeric data. In all cases, the data type of the Excel cell has to match the data type of the field in the form. So having done all of that, all we have to do is save it, and I've already done that, so we can close this and go back into iPhora. And now it's time to do the import. Now, I'm actually importing the exact same data I had before, so I'm going to delete this out. Click on Import. Here I can either drag files or click to select files. Okay, so all I have to do is select the desired file, click on Open, and then click on Import. The file is uploaded, the data is import, and there it is. Just like that, I've imported 5 documents, but it could have been 75 or 175. Let's open one up just to make sure everything imported correctly, and yes, it did. This is the premium model, number 14001, available starting on February 28th, and all of the data looks correct. So just like that, you could import data into iPhora Automate to create a set of documents and then use those documents for any purpose needed for that app. And that's all there is to importing documents.